Welcome, lovely soul friend. Today I wanted to drop some lore on myself and kind of mix in also, um, mix in everything that I'm doing here and mix in things like why am I doing, um, and the whole, also kind of how it mixes my story and everything that I do mixes with this very thing that I'm trying to do here is to create a new earth direction, I guess. That's what I'm trying to do. And Wolfie here is my dear spirit guide. Wolf, as you can see. um, lonely wolf. Maybe the wolf represents kind of also, yeah, my path of being a lonely wolf and going up, walking a path, discovering things, which is like an unmarked trail for me, doing things my own way. Something like my whole incarnation being a unique, I mean, everyone's incarnation is unique, but I really haven't followed a lot of the things that people around me have followed, right? Um, so starting with like my early, I don't know where to start honestly, but with my early years, I guess, I don't know, I was super like creative, like I was a ray of sunshine. I actually have a picture I can show you here. See, it's green. I was a pretty bright boy. I mean, I'm still a pretty bright boy. Pretty bright boy. But yeah, uh, still a pretty bright boy. But maybe the things that you don't see on my face and the things that you don't see in my energy is the journey that have gone through, the journey of violence, the journey of, you know, my house being on fire, there's being like robberies with junkies and emotional violence, physical violence in my house, black magic in the family. It's like so many things that it drove me to depression at the age of like when I was 16, 15, and around 16 was the first time I tried to, actually I attempted to do the opposite thing of living. So I have to be correct for the YouTube. I guess there's a censorship happening. Opposite thing of living is what I try to do. You know what that means. I'm kind of, you know, laughing about it now in my own personal way, not about other people that are going through such experiences, but you know, because I have found many people going through similar experiences, and we have had a lot of kind of humor and jokes already about it, about lowering yourself into the pits of darkness, as one, I guess you could say. And but throughout, like from years 11, I already had this idea of becoming a rock star, right? I had, and throughout my what was it like, I started playing guitar around 11, when I was 11, and then I had a band around 15, 16, and I played around with my band. I recorded music, have it here on YouTube as well, until like 2021, 2022. Yeah, so it was, but the intention, the reason that I made that band is because I was inspired how much, with what I could do on stage, inspiring people and kind of capturing people in the slowest position of their life, and being this final safety net for the people, and you know, telling them that do not give up on your journey. There is light, there is hope, even if you're completely done with this incarnation. And of course, that I was also going through a lot of awakenings during like 16. My parents were divorcing, and yeah, I became more spiritually aware of outer beings, of being a soul rather than being a body, because I had this opposite thing of like, I see that many starseeds, many people, they have in their childhood, they have a lot of a lot of experience of seeing subtle realms, connecting to different spiritual beings. And I was I was opposite. I was completely, I mean, there were things that I remember, there were like experiences that were happening when I knew that I was not human, but it wasn't so vivid that I would be like, you know, I was more keen on developing an ego, developing a character, and everything like the kind of the mess that was happening around me in my like family and where I came in. It's like completely fucking darkness. It was, I mean, it was crazy. It was completely different from what I'm experiencing now, but yeah, it was developing a character. It was developing a character that is able to relate to humanity and to other journeys, other human journeys, and my ability to ascend through that darkness, through going through those many ego deaths, and uh, and completely, uh, yeah, just completely like, at when was my true kind of divine awakening happened, when in the like at the end of 2020, and that was the moment where I completely could release my individuality. And I remember being this like a couple months ago, I was going to a psychotherapist, and I was telling my psychotherapist how psy- psychotherapist, psychiatrist, yeah, I guess, whatever, same. Psychiatrist, and I was telling my psychiatrist how I'm completely like afraid of being in public transport, and I'm afraid of people, I'm afraid of being in society. And a couple months later, I was able to reach level of awareness. I mean, I still have, but I shift my level of awareness now, as I do and guide through these many videos. But basically, I was able to, I remember walking on the street, and I saw this woman walking, and I was, it was winter, and I was feeling like I was a field. I was this woman, and my body was looking into this into the eyes of this woman, and I was seeing that I was simultaneously all the bodies, I was all the people, I was all the buildings, I was all the landscape. And I truly realized and got to this point of complete, um, like, I don't want to use complete. In that moment, it is a complete release of the self, right? A complete release of the self and individuality. But even though I'm still kind of shifting back and forth, right? I still have came down to my individuality, to my ego, to my lower energy centers, and work through my kind of lower karmic energies. And well, it's not really to me lower karmic energies. It's just like the human journey, and the things that I have left messy from the past lives, the things that have been left messy in my family, right? And working through those things. So yeah, this wasn't like, I'm not trying trying to say throughout my journey I have understood that the whole enlightenment, like enlightenment in general, is the ability to reach higher state. Like, it is to realize who you are when before death, the pure consciousness, everything. You are one with everything. But then it is also, you get to have a journey, as an individual, as a human, you get to have an incarnation to simultaneously be one with everything and simultaneously be separate and have this video game journey. And that's the way I started to see it, as opposed to maybe maybe the people that were still feeling separated from their divine self and feeling like they're just this human, and that they are afraid of death because then it would end them, right? But yeah, I got off the topic, sorry. That's just the way it's gonna be today. And so yeah, that's kind of the, in short, that's my journey. But everything that I share here, and kind of the new earth direction and everything, also the new earth it's a concept of manifestation which we are aiming for, right? It's it's like a lighthouse, it's a guiding lighthouse. Like when I stopped playing with my band, when I kind of closed that project, the thing I was unsatisfied, and the thing that I asked myself was, what does music sound in the new earth? So I was guided by this lighthouse, this concept of how can I do music differently, where this concept would take a new form in the new earth. And started asking this question, like in every instance in my life, how do governmental structures look differently in the new earth? How does, you know, food, everything, transportation, making money, everything, and it's not that it's not that you get the answer immediately to this question, but it's that you throw this question out to the universe and you embark on this journey, and you trust that you're going to find a new path that is going to be more exciting, that is going to be more fulfilling and more full of light, which is going to eventually it's going to attract other people, and it's going to manifest that new earth where, you know, of course it's present, it's already present because it's shifting every day, right? In millimeters, and you know, in small steps. Meters. In small steps, it's shifting every day, but the more we aim for it, the more we put out the intention to do things differently in this way. And I've been guided by, since my childhood, I remember, like if we go back to my story, my lore, yeah, just how, well, being assistants of people really, but being guided by doing things honorably, because everything, basically the way I grew up is I saw everything that was wrong, and I just basically what I did was I should do that the opposite way. That's the exact thing that I should not do. I should do it in the opposite way. And that's the way I kind of grew up, seeing all of those things around me, and that is what has shaped me. And my kind of light, and the light that I share here is my own achievement. It is not that I have been through an easy journey, not at all. I remember when I was still going through a lot of that unaliving thoughts and depression, that one guy he was doing rap music, and I did like collaboration I did with him, and I was singing in his rap song. And then after we went out to the studio, and he kind of asked me, I told him my story, he kind of asked me, well, it's surprised that you're not somewhere laying in the ditch with a needle in your hand. And I thought really, yeah, that my strength and my ability to fight through all of that. By the way, I had a song where I sang with lyrics where I sang, fight it out, you lonely wolf, and seemingly you'll try to go wandering without them anymore. So yeah, Wolf was with me throughout the journey. and it has given me a lot of, well, it has given me a lot of medals and badges, I would say, but it's not really what I'm trying to not really trying to kind of elevate my ego of suffering here, but I'm trying to give you an insight of the ability and relatability and the heart consciousness of compassion which I carry for humanity, for myself, which I have learned to most importantly carry for myself, because that's what I realized, that every shadow, every demon that I'm facing, I have to become my own biggest friend. If I'm not my best friend, then they are using my life for their own benefit. And seeing all of the people and all of the friends and all of everyone that was around me, some good people, like some, different things, but there were definitely, I deviated from, like, if those people went in a path of developing their egos, of becoming what they thought was a masculine embodiment of masculine incarnation, maybe, and I went completely whoosh, because I knew that the only thing that is important to me is divine freedom in every way, in every meaning. Divine freedom in the way I express myself, divine freedom in the way I offer myself to the world, my creations, my creativity, money exchange, divine freedom in what I could, like, if I'm gonna build a house, I'm gonna build them better, I'm gonna build the most magical house that's never been built before on this entire planet. I've got the faith. I will say, actually, not just the ability to imagine and to create, but I've got the faith to believe. Because the strongest, the true strength, what I'm talking about, has been the faith. It hasn't been that I have been always, like, emotionally capable of facing every single thing that I did. Yeah, music was carrying me through. I used music as a channel to carry those shadows, really. If I didn't have the music and the emotional languaging, like, of the music um, to understand those energies, then those energies would have consumed me. But it was the faith of believing in things that are not possible. It was the faith of believing in things that are not probable. It was the faith in believing things that people don't see around themselves. I remember believing in the most improbable things, like, when I was a child, I always believed in being divinely abundant. I didn't have that much. I didn't have that much in family. I can't say that we were poor. Sometimes we were, sometimes we weren't. It was a struggle, but it wasn't like, it was somewhere in the lower average class. I don't know, maybe from different times or different circumstances, really. But there was certainly a lot of things to face, and those things were, I think I was successful because, well, thanks to my guides and my angelic beings, but really, and thanks to people around me who assisted me and also saved me, also during that moment, which I described when I was 16. So after 16, I kind of felt like my life belongs, my incarnation belongs more to God than it belongs into the universe and to the benefit of humanity, to the well-being of humanity rather than myself, because I chose to end it there. I chose to end it there So I got a second chance, right? And yeah, and that was a lot, I think, already. And then after like my awakening, still I went through mm, during my awakening to many heartbreaks, many betrayals, relationships. I went through, and then even like absolute. I haven't understood to this day yet what, like, the whole puzzle. I think I know almost like all the details that have happened, but I've experienced a lot of energetical attacks. And I shared in one of the previous videos, even like, again, unaliving attacks, which are not just like no, these weren't like like you're I know I can differentiate between like when somebody is trying to consume your mind, and when somebody is trying to, like, literally with force, to drive your soul out of your body, to cut the cord, with an intention to destiny swap, with an intention to take somebody else's place, because they know that somebody else may be abundant or abundant in the future. Take somebody else's I don't know what the true intentions of these people were. I trusted these people, and as it is on these journeys, I was betrayed. However, I did not give up on my heart. I did not give up on my love. I was angry, but I gained a lot of strength. I gained a lot of ability to work with magic, to work with energy, to work with it, to just like this whole world of energy, magic, astral nature is basically my fruits from these attacks. So that is the reason why I speak of all of these things so lightly, because maybe not when I was experiencing all of these things and also in the childhood, but right now, after each of my awakening, I have maintained the position of actually I am the beneficiary. I benefited from that situation. I took the most of the fruits from what I could from it. So, squeezed it dry. Squeezed, whether it was for my abilities, for my character, for anything, for my freedom, for my soul, for what I'm sharing, for my love, for what I'm offering here. So it has all been very fruitful. And I also always, like, the things that I share here. I also share that I interact with different spiritual levels, different spiritual maybe beings, and always use your own judgment whether you need to hear what I'm saying, the message, or that's not for you. You should always listen to your intuition, but understand that what I'm doing is in my core and in my intention is of, it is of this direction of new earth, freedom for everyone, abundance for everyone, divine light, divine divine liberation for everyone. And I guess I approach, my approach has been through a lot of darkness, through a lot of death. Definitely. I mean, the graveyard magic and all of those things. You cannot imagine what kind of shit people are doing. It's just insane. I mean, I would literally have all of those people sit down, and if you feel so fucking creative, if you have all these creative energies on how to manipulate other people, and sit down and make like a club or a group, and just like make something out of it. Not just like be like, oh, I could do this, oh yeah, graveyard magic, I could steal their soul. Fucking shit. I mean, it's insane. Oh yeah. So that was, that was me rambling, me channeling what I've kind of also wanted to share. Because, yeah, I just, I wanted to share a more intimate version of myself and give a bit of insight into my story. Yeah, for people to see, but in general for the intention that I'm also trying to attract people of quality, people that are soul friends, people that want to follow me through this path. Not like follow me, but it's not really following me. I think it's following the egregore of it, because the more kind of other people join in, the more it is shaping and shifting. So it isn't just me interacting and guiding, it's also the spirit guides, the angels and everything. But yeah, it's it's always a test to the frequency of the people that are interacting. That's why I will be, you could always do the thing that people like, that that people will enjoy this one. Let them subscribe and gain attention. But then I would rather prefer to have a smaller circle and have people of honesty, of faith, of diligence, because I find your lack of faith disturbing. That's, I think Lord Vader said that. I find your lack of faith disturbing. So yeah, have a lot of faith. It could be the end of the world, but you gotta have a lot of faith. Okay, I'm gonna stop the rambling here. I hope you enjoy the more intimate version of me, and yeah. See you later, potato.